I went through the worst breakup of my life recently. I had only been dating her for a month, but I'd had feelings for her on and off for a year. I'm not going to get into that story as it's very personal to my ex's family, and I think her Twitter is still public. But all you need to know is something happened that made us, me and her family, deeply concerned for her safety. And once I knew she was safe, I had to cut off the relationship for my safety and hers. It was one of the most gut wrenching things I've ever had to do, and I hope I never have to do it again. While scrolling through Tumblr, trying to forget about the whole situation, I came across a Tumblr post urging the reader to make a website, specifically using a pseudo social networking web revival site called NeoCities. And it's not like I had anything better to do, so I poured myself into learning HTML and I built a website. Within a couple days, I had built the framework for my site. I spent most of the 3 days after the breakup watching HTML and CSS tutorials, coding, animating events when the heartache got too bad, and sleeping. I accidentally completely fucked up my sleep schedule, waking up at night and falling asleep at noon, and I felt shitty. Really shitty. But I could code and I could learn, and that's what I did. When I was in 5th grade, I had a project where I had to ask the people around me stuff about me, how they saw me, basically. I didn't have many friends, so I just talked to the people at my table, and I asked one of them how I sounded. And she said I sounded wise. That's kind of stuck with me, because it's not every day you get described as wise, especially as a 5th grader. But that's how people saw 5th grade me, as wise. I don't think I've earned the title, even 5 years later now that I have much more life experience, but I have experienced more than my peers in a lot of ways. Maybe that's why she saw wisdom in me. I don't know. What I do know is that 4 days after the breakup, as I tinkered with the site layout, I saw the ticker of views go up on the site. 250 views, 10 new views on a video essay I had linked on my site, and 3 new subscribers. And the thought of my ex, in my mind, started to slowly fade. Love songs stopped hurting. Things that reminded me of her stopped hurting. And I started hurting less and less. Of course, I still got sad. I would space out thinking about her, or my heart would start hurting while watching YouTube with my family. But the hurt gradually became less. I hung out with my best friend, Kaz, for those of you who know her. We went to a used bookstore and I bought my little brother plushies and 2 DS games for myself. She talked about her latest obsession, fucking Furbies, of all things. And I listened. Mainly customizing Furbies, taking something terrible and turning it into something honestly pretty incredible. It reminded me of coding. I take these building blocks and I make something out of them, something that's sometimes pretty incredible. It was great to watch her talk about her new Furby and what she planned to do with it. First, I'll take off its skin, she said, and give him a bath. Then I'll give him a new eyelash because he doesn't have one right now. Kaz is really good at knowing what to do, which sounds weird and like a thing that no one is good at, but he is. He can visualize something and how he wants to change it and the steps he needs to take to change it. I'm not so great at that. I just kind of do shit. I don't think anything through. Even when I code, I've never had that coding mindset where you think through all the building blocks of what makes your project. I just clobber stuff together and hope it works. And that's what I do in HTML. That's what I'm doing for my site. Googling and uploading and typing over and over again, adding page after page after page. And I go back to make sure things are working properly, which they usually are, but I don't think anything through. I really should, but I don't. I didn't think through my relationship. I don't think through my life. Maybe life is something you can't think through. Maybe, like me building my site, it's just about putting shit together and hoping it works. Maybe some people can think through their life, think about the next steps you have to take, but I can't. Lots of us can't. But we still need to keep clobbering shit together and hoping it works. Hoping it looks the way we want it to. My website is live right now. You can visit it right now. It's shroomiwoomi.neocities.org. It's far from done. Most of my projects are never really done. I always have more to add. But it's something. I made it. And the shit I clobbered together looks pretty good. Not only that, my life, clobbered together and unplanned as it is looking pretty good. It's honestly for the better that my ex and I broke up, and though I hope she's doing well, she should have never been contacting me. We were a disaster waiting to happen. I'm not wise. I haven't earned my wisdom, but lots of shit has happened to me, and the advice I have to give is to clobber shit together and hope it works. And if it isn't working, try something new. Hang out with that friend, try a new hobby, and your problems will seem like much less when you have more to do.